Yeah, so we wanted to do one on CRM integration because we haven't done it in a while. It's a pretty powerful piece of ActiveDEMAND. I mean, if you look at ActiveDEMAND versus other marketing automation platforms, we integrate with a pile of CRMs, and I think that that ability to integrate with a pile of different CRMs is a strength that we have that a lot of agencies make good use of. They have lots of different clients with different CRMs. They're able to integrate with those and kind of build like a better solution for their clients, better solutions that are more deeply integrated and provide more value. And they can stay longer with those clients because those clients need to continue working with them to continue keeping that integration rolling, keeping that, improving that integration, and doing more with sales and marketing. So in terms of today, I'm going to be going through a couple of different things. I've been going through why you should integrate your CRM with ActiveDEMAND, and then I'll be going through the people process, the soft stuff you have to do up front that terrible things will happen if you don't do, and then the technical process around how you actually do the things to integrate your CRM with ActiveDEMAND. So first, let's talk about why integrate, because yeah, I mean, like a lot of people have CRMs, a lot of people have marketing automation platforms. Why even bother connecting the two of them? Well, the number one thing that I think is really interesting is just driving leads directly into the CRM. Some CRMs have like form solutions that allow you to put leads directly in, but there's not really any filtering on it. And sometimes what that ends up doing is putting a lot of junk leads in the CRM. And I'm sure if you've tried this in the past, you've had this happen as well, where sales starts complaining, hey, there's way too much garbage. Generally, sales needs a pretty clean CRM. The best salespeople out there maintain a very clean CRM, but it's more typical that it gets pretty messy. And the messier the CRM is, the harder it is to manage sales and understand your pipeline. The second reason is to pull data out of the CRM and get it into marketing, because inside marketing, you can do all sorts of stuff with that CRM data. You can get better visibility between departments, so between sales and marketing. You can understand better. Sales can see, oh, looks like marketing's doing something with this prospect that I'm working on. And marketing can see, oh, this person, sales has said, don't email this person. Okay, that's interesting. Good to know. Sometimes this stuff is just really good communication between sales and marketing on the client. And that also allows you to unlock cross-department campaigns, or campaigns that use aspects of both sales and marketing. So you can have a campaign that might have an email in it, and then potentially like a call from the salesperson, or an email that looks like it's coming from the salesperson but is actually part of the campaign. And ultimately, the kind of crown jewel of being able to integrate a CRM with marketing automation like ActiveDEMAND is better marketing reporting. When we think about marketing reporting, we think about like, okay, yeah, clicks and click-through rates. Yeah, okay, who cares? What are the business KPIs that we're impacting with our marketing? Often, those are in the CRM. So that's a prime reason. And when we look at it, we kind of have this way of approaching accounts that has several different layers to it. We kind of have our research or metadata where we speculate what's working or what could potentially work. That's where our marketing automation platform would be, CRMs, spreadsheets, slide decks, that kind of a thing. Then we can look at how the prospects behave. Oh, they viewed the video on YouTube. Is that good? I don't know. Oh, they moused over the display ad. Oh, they clicked on it. That's interesting. And then there are more firm ones where you get actual direct interaction data where they're actually doing something. They're converting. They're talking to salespeople, and you notice like that CRM is pretty pervasive in those. And just the reality is that CRM has really great data in it. Another way to look at this, let's look at this in terms of like a funnel of prospects. Prospects come to the website, so they show up as web traffic. They convert. They turn into a lead. And then for a lot of marketers, they kind of disappear, goes off into the CRM. Being able to see past and into the CRM will allow us to fully understand the buyer journey. So what are some observations that we can make here? Well, marketers are in control of most of that data, but we do a better job with more data. Like if you look at trying to, for example, optimize a Google Ads campaign, it's easier to do if you have better conversion data. If you have poor quality conversion data, if you're converting on like every single call that comes in, Yellow Pages calls you up, you get spam calls for website redevelopment or whatever you're getting spam calls for, those aren't conversions, and you don't want Google Ads paying for garbage. And if you've got garbage conversions, well, that's just gonna be the reality there. Realistically, the CRM has like excellent data because it's got that one-to-one relationship of a salesperson to a prospect, whereas marketing is typically a one-to-many relationship. So let's talk a little bit about the people process in integrating the CRM with ActiveDEMAND. In terms of people process, one thing that we really need is sales and marketing department alignment. These two teams are super important because they drive revenue for the business. Misalignment on this is really going to cause our biggest problems. So we really need to make sure that through this process of aligning these two systems, again, marketing automation system, that's the marketing system, CRM, that's the primary sales system. We integrate these two things, it's got to be done well, and it has to have a lot of alignment. First, let's talk about what happens when we want to push a lead into the CRM, ActiveDEMAND lead into the CRM. Again, this is just the people process. We need to ask some questions. Typically, this is going to have to be a meeting between whoever's implementing this integration. Sometimes that might be marketing, sometimes it might be a technology person, sometimes it might be the CEO, depending on the size of the company. But some of the questions that you'd have to ask and establish as fact: what is a lead? Is a lead a phone call? Is a lead a website visit? Is a lead a form fill? Is a lead a fully vetted form fill that's been double checked by someone? This changes depending on the company and depending on how you send leads over. So this needs to be established and kind of written down. What information is required for sales to succeed with the lead? Again, marketing has a lot of information about the prospect before they became a lead. We know what pages they went to, we know which channel they came in on, we might have information on what other visits they had. We need to understand, are any of those critical for sales? If they're critical, we need to make sure we get that over. Who should we send the lead to? Should there be a lead claiming process in there, or are we just sending it to a single person? Is it by territory? All that kind of thing needs to be written down here as well. Should we create the deal? Should we create the deal directly inside the CRM, or should we just create a contact? And if we're creating a deal, what stage should it be set to? So all of these things all these questions really should go into a contract, or like a memorandum of understanding, if you want to make it fancy. But really just a document that says, here's all the things, here's how we understand it, here's what we agree on, and here's what we're going to implement. And again, documenting this is important because later people are going to change their minds, and you need to be able to document that so that they don't come back later and start blaming you. Oh, why are you putting all of these into the CRM? Well, because you asked me to, right? So it's important to document this and have full alignment on it. Now, what if we want to move things back from the CRM back into marketing? We need to communicate back to marketing from sales. Well, there's a couple of things that we need to understand there. How do we know when the deal is dead, or when marketing should engage with? Who should we engage with? Is there some sort of line or flag or type of prospect we shouldn't engage with? And then what data do I need to succeed? So from marketing, what data do you need from sales in order to succeed? Think about what fields you might want, what kind of information you want. And again, consider documenting this. Let's talk about what we can do here in terms of marketing to the prospect while they're in the sales cycle. This happens sometimes. There's actually a couple of really good reasons why you might want to do this. You might want to do like some campaigns that are a part of the sales process that salespeople can use, or you might want to do some of the after sales process. Maybe there's a one deal and you have a very consistent workflow you want to put all your customers through. There's a place where marketing is going to step in again. So some questions for sales on that. How can we help? How can we leverage this technology that we have, this marketing automation technology, to help sales? When can we engage? When should we never engage? We need to know these different flags. Who should we engage with? What are the goals of the engagement? What do you want to see out of this? So, for example, that example I gave with there was a one deal. Now we put them into a workflow. What what's the goal of that? There should be some like firm goals. Oh, we want to upsell them to our platinum package, or we want them to get the warranty, or we want them to engage with the platform. We want them to really use it. So really, like I really strongly recommend focusing on a goal-oriented approach, because it's very easy to like layer on automation that doesn't actually do anything important. So in order for this to be important, we have to be shooting for a goal. There has to be a goal in there. There has to be some way of measuring whether it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And again, consider a contract, some sort of document, some sort of one page that says, here's what we're going to do, here's what these things will do, so that everyone's on the same page with what's going to happen. Now let's talk about the after sales approach. Same idea there. We can look at what we want to do, what the goals are, and what kind of campaigns we want to build. So really, like this whole process up front, it might be like a 1-hour meeting with sales. Maybe that's all you need to get it done. If you have a very large sales team, or if you have different sales departments you're going to deal with, this might be more of a series of meetings with stakeholders in order to get alignment and full understanding on what the integration is going to do and what it's going to look like. Really, I would say that you never want to start this, like don't dive into just doing the technical bits without understanding these bits first, because it could be a career-ending move if you go mess with the CRM and sales is not on board with it. So again, that's why those internal contracts are there. Those are to help everyone understand what's supposed to be happening, and really to cover your butt in case like something bad happens with regards to it doing what you thought it should do and sales not agreeing, or vice versa. So now that we've got the people process, everyone's aligned, everything's looking good, we have the contract, if this is going to happen, then we're going to do this, everything's fully aligned and documented. Now let's get into the technical part of actually integrating the CRM. I've got a bunch of different bullets here. Some of these are quite easy or are linked, but I thought I would put them in just to think about what we need to do, or what the connections are going to have be. So first, we're going to connect and authorize the CRM connection. Then we're going to look at field mapping, contact synchronization, and then thinking when we're going to post from one to the other. So first, let's talk about connecting and authorizing. This is the easiest part. You pick your CRM, you go hit the authenticate button, and you're pretty much done. Okay, but that's just the easy part. the part that really I would strongly recommend that you spend the most time on is building a field mapping spreadsheet in order to save the pain of mapping the fields, because ActiveDEMAND has like a super configurable integration with CRMs. We don't assume anything. You can connect any field to any field inside the CRM, even the wrong ones. So you need to know which fields you're connecting to which and when they're going to be sending it over. So I like to do a spreadsheet. I like to do a big bad spreadsheet that has here are all the things that I'm going to move from ActiveDEMAND to whatever CRM I'm working on. I have the scope of it, if it's contact or deal, whatever the case might be, the field name, the type of field it is, and when it's supposed to move over. So all of these things, again, help with clarity of what's going to happen. And later on, when I start mapping these things out, it's going to be a really nice reference on the side as well. It can get confusing, right? Oh, phone number, was that on the organization or the contact? Which one was I actually mapping over? I can consult my spreadsheet to take a look at that. So really highly recommend doing this. This can also uncover some custom fields that maybe you didn't think that you needed, but you actually do. You might have a field in your CRM that you really need to get into ActiveDEMAND, and maybe you don't have a field to dump it into. So great place for identifying when you need extra custom fields as well. And then after this, you would go into the field mappings and map those out. Contact synchronization. So this is pulling contacts from the CRM into ActiveDEMAND. This is optional. You don't actually have to do this, but most prospects will. This is how you get contacts in. This is how you get updates from the CRM back into ActiveDEMAND as well. So you go into this contact sync area and you map out the fields you want to go from the CRM back into ActiveDEMAND. You can choose which fields to map where, and you can also, importantly, choose to filter what you pull from the CRM. So you see right in the bottom there, filter data. This actually allows us to only import fields that we want to. So if your CRM has like, 100,000 contacts, and you're like, whoa, I don't want 100,000 contacts inside ActiveDEMAND. I just want 10,000. Okay, well, how are you going to filter those? Consider how you want to filter those contacts coming in, because then we only need to pull in the ones that we need to take action on. And that's very important because ActiveDEMAND pricing is based on contacts. We want to make sure that we're just including the number of contacts that we need. Now let's think about when to post to the CRM. Now, technically, anywhere there's a workflow or inside the contact screens, there you can post to the CRM from any of those places, inside campaigns, all that kind of stuff. But that's only technically right. It's not really right. Really right in terms of like pro tip and doing this properly is to centralize your posting to the CRM in specialized workflows so that it's easy to maintain and it's easy to understand. One thing that can happen with automation is if you post to the CRM in lots of different places and then later on see some posts that you don't want in the CRM, oh, why is it doing that? That question can be hard to answer when you have a million places that can potentially post. So we like to use 2 places or 2 automated workflows that post to the CRM. Your mileage may vary. This is completely configurable inside ActiveDEMAND, but we recommend that you post to the CRM from inside workflows that are used to post leads, or inside workflows that are used to post-claim activities. The lead has already been claimed. Now this varies depending on your package with ActiveDEMAND. We have, for example, like you can't do lead claiming with like a small business market or anything like that. But this is the way to do it if you're going big and bad. Some packages with ActiveDEMAND have this fixed. This is fixed and is not configurable. Some tips on this. Your CRM probably has some API posting limits. So just consider that when thinking about what you're going to post to the CRM. For example, you probably don't want to post every page view, every website page view to the CRM, because whatever API limit your CRM has, you're probably going to overwhelm that posting every single page view to the CRM. That kind of stuff actually belongs better inside ActiveDEMAND. If we think about ActiveDEMAND as the marketing source of truth and the CRM as a sales source of truth, we want both of them to have as much of the same data, but sometimes some of that data belongs in one system or the other. And when it comes to like website views or like someone viewed like a dynamic block or something like that, that belongs in ActiveDEMAND. It doesn't belong in the CRM. Don't overwrite CRM fields you're not supposed to. All that people process and all that documentation that we're just talking about, the spreadsheet, all that kind of stuff is designed so we don't do that. Again, overwriting CRM fields in some companies may be a career-ending move, depending on how important that data is. And then just an approach here in terms of synchronizing contacts. If you're dealing with a very large contact database and you want to be careful with it and just take baby steps, you can use those filters to ensure that you don't synchronize like a big 100,000 million contact database, and you just start small just to make sure it's working. Pilot project this stuff so that it's working as you want it to, and then open up the tabs. Now, posting leads to the CRM, there's a couple of different things I just wanted to mention here. ActiveDEMAND's lead claiming system is super flexible. So if you have a corporate marketer, there's this fantastic functionality where you can choose how to send leads to sales. You can send them all to, you could do kind of like Hunger Games where you send leads to everyone, and whoever grabs it first, if that's their lead. That's kind of handy if you want to ensure that sales is really chasing those leads. There's territory based. I could put a decision in there and say, oh, if it's in Canada, send it to this person. If it's in America, send it to this person or this list of salespeople. That's possible as well. I could do round robin. I could do assign claim leads by who's the most active. Whoever's calling the most, that person gets the most leads. There's lots of different options in here. Really, the goal here is to improve accountability. I don't want leads that marketing spent a ton of time generating not being followed up on. I want sales to follow up on them, and that's why I ensure that this lead claiming process it adds to the accountability. How do you do it? Well, here's an example of where we use it to post inside one of our workflows, and you can see there that we wait for a claim. Once it's claimed, we post it to the CRM, and we've got some different options there. So for Pipedrive, we can post it with the action has a name, but the deal we can choose to create one. We can put some notes in there, and again, we're using some dynamic fields in there. We can choose to set the sales contact if we haven't already, and then we can set the stage. So we can see some of those options, and I describe the questions that would give the answers to those in the people process. So that's an example of posting, and really like this posting workflow. The real power in here. I was mentioning earlier that that you can use forms that will post directly to a CRM. The problem with those is that they clutter up your CRM with a bunch of garbage because there's not enough filtering. You can layer on filtering. You can see here that we're checking if the lead was rejected or if it was claimed or anything like that. But if you want to, you could layer on a lot of different decisions and make sure that those leads that are getting into your CRM, which are on the far right, after going through all this gauntlet of questions, only those ones get posted. So this can really increase the quality of leads that are posted to your CRM and ensure you're not posting garbage. The next thing to think about is how to post activities to the CRM, or different signals that the user is performing that ActiveDEMAND can detect that you also want to share with sales. And the place that we put that is we like to use a workflow called After the Claim that handles all activities for contacts that are claimed leads, and we just go through a decision tree like this. Is it a this? Then post this. Is it a that? Then post this. The cool thing here is that inside our CRM, we're able to see very easily what people have done, and we've got kind of like a 30,000 foot view. We don't have absolutely every little thing that ActiveDEMAND has detected being posted to the CRM. Instead, we have these nice big chunky activities. If they went to an appointment, if they downloaded an asset, if we posted a sales note, if there was a form that was filled out, all these things get posted up to our CRM to let us see exactly what's happening with the contact. So that's all I have on CRM integration. So we talked about pulling contacts in and pulling those fields from the CRM into our contact, and we should talk about posting to the CRM as well. One thing to mention, I talked a little bit about packages and that kind of a thing. One of our new packages is Agency Reporter, and I just wanted to show like some of the differences between that and a standard ActiveDEMAND, I guess you could say. And the important part is the agency marketers or the other agency packages we have for ActiveDEMAND, they're bi-directional on CRM integration, which means we post to the CRM and we pull from the CRM. With Agency Reporter, it's one way, and we're just pulling deals, just pulling CRM deals, not anything else. One thing that I will say we have on our support portal, if you search how do I connect to, or do you connect to my CRM? We have a fantastic article there that has some really good information on which CRMs we support and what features we support on integrating with those CRMs, whether it be tasks or activities that we can post to, contacts that we can post to, or whatever the case might be, deals and all that kind of stuff. So features vary depending on your CRM. And that help article that I mentioned is right here. And we mentioned all the native integrations that we have. And as well, if you have a weird CRM, something that we don't connect to, or something, maybe not weird is weird is the wrong word, maybe custom or industry specific CRM, we connect with a lot of them. We also have a possibility of connecting via webhooks to some CRMs that'll accept that via post, as well as Zapier and a couple of other ways of integrating. So I was mostly talking about native integration today, but we also have other ways of hooking into other CRMs out there. So there are other possibilities out there.